What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we have the Zev Tech version of the P365 called the Z365 Octane. Now, Zev Tech makes this both in the P365 and the P365XL. We happen to have the XL version here today. Before we get into it, I need to quickly thank my buddy Johnny. This pistol was lent to the channel by my friend Johnny. Johnny has loaned me a ton of nice Wilson Combat, Staccato, POF, I mean I can go on and on and on. He has loaned a ton of nice guns to the channel for review, so Johnny is the man. I just wanted to quickly say thank you. Alright, getting right into the features of this pistol. The lower is pretty much the same as a P365. I could not see any differences. Not necessarily a bad thing. The SIG magazines, the SIG trigger, the SIG frame, all that stuff is pretty good, so not the end of the world, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Most of the love Zev has given to this pistol is going to be on the upper, the slide area. The first thing I noticed right away is the cerakote. It has a nice kind of grayish color cerakote finish to it that I think it absolutely looks amazing. The second thing I noticed right away is going to be the serrations. Not only are the serrations, there's a lot more of them, they're a lot more aggressive and they work a lot better. So as always, if you run the gun from the front, from the top, from the bottom, from the left, from the right, however you choose to run the guns, the serrations are absolutely A+ and they work extremely well. Third thing I noticed is the optics cut. On a lot of the P365s, you lose the rear sight when you add an optic to the pistol, and that's not the case on this gun. You can add a micro size optic like this Holosun HS407K, which in my opinion is the best micro optic, and you don't lose the rear sights, which is great that you still keep your sights. God forbid that optic goes down. That would be bad. The other thing they did was they added this fancy Zev barrel with lots of little dimples and fancy cuts, and God knows if it's any different than a standard P365 barrel, but it's definitely an aesthetically pleasing looking barrel. Now the fifth thing I want to point out is going to be the sights. Most SIG pistols come with their X-ray sights, or the 365 anyway, come with their X-ray sights. I am a big fan of the X-ray sights. Those sights have a bright green circle on the front, assuming you're not colorblind to green. I'm sure you'll love that as well. But it has tritium both in the rear and the front, so you have some night sights. This sight's from Zev, again, a very nice, very high quality. The front is a fiber optic, very easy to pick up. The rear is blacked out, and I love blacked out rear sights with front fiber optics, but more on competition guns. For me, if it's something I'm carrying for EDC, I kind of would rather have night sights for a small gun, for an EDC type gun, over fiber optic, but I'm thinking that's something personal that you guys may or may not agree with me. Another thing I want to point out is this feels, I don't have my 365 here to compare, but it feels significantly smoother than the P365. Now my P365 has thousands and thousands of rounds. This is a newer gun with only a few hundred rounds, and it feels a lot smoother racking the slide. I don't know if it's just me and my imagination, but that's how it feels. So that's pretty much the differences between the Zev version of the 365 and the original SIG version. That's pretty much all of the differences. But let's talk about the testing that I've done. It's pretty typical for any EDC carry type gun. I do the same type of testing. The first thing I did was I carried it every single day for several weeks just to see how it carried. No different from a standard P365 in my opinion. But my buddy Johnny let me borrow this Surefire XSC and this awesome T-Rex arms holster. I liked this holster way more than I expected, and I'll probably do a review on both the light and the holster coming up. So I carried it for several weeks just to get a feel for it. No issues there. Of course, we brought it to the range several times as well. The first time I brought it to the range, I was with my buddy Johnny and another friend, and our range session turned into like tactical games, running, gunning, push-ups, burpees, all sorts of just strenuous activities. Not something you would normally shoot a small carry gun. Normally you'd have a much bigger gun for something like that, but I was reviewing this, so I rocked it, and I was even able to get some hits out to 50 yards. Not every shot, but consistently get hits at 50 yards, which was always a good thing. Like I said, I did a lot of drawing from a holster and reloads. I think that's something that's important, especially drawing from the holster. I think that's something that's very important to practice, obviously with an EDC style gun. I did shoot the pistol indoors as well. I say it in almost every video lately. Every week I take a shooter's fitness class at my local range. We incorporate shooting and fitness, so I broke this out in one of the classes. And I put a few hundred rounds through it indoors. Most of the shooting though was outdoors. Of course, I slayed a bunch of steel because I'm a steel slayer. I don't know. I like to shoot steel. It's fun. I shot my foam dummies because they are dummies and they deserve it. And I shot them a whole bunch. They're about to fall apart at this point. I shot 4 different types of ammo, just so you know. We shot some really cheap Tula steel case. We shot some Bellum brass. I shot 1 mag of double tap hollow points, and I shot a box or 2 of Mag Tech. So several hundred rounds to this pistol. I had 0 malfunctions, no failures of any kind. It was flawless through all of the few hundred rounds that I put through it, and the several hundred rounds that the owner Johnny has put through it so far. So through all of that testing, let's talk about the pros, cons, and what I think of it overall. This should be a fairly quick video today. I think aesthetically it is absolutely beautiful, pleasing, good looking gun. The barrel, the slide, the cerakote work, everything Zev does. Whoever designs their stuff has a great eye for attention to detail, and they just make very aesthetically pleasing products. The serrations are great, big improvement over the standard P365. The barrel is very, very fancy with all the dimpling and all the work on the outside of it. It's a very good looking barrel. I love how when you add an optic, you don't lose the rear sight. That is always a very important thing to me on a carry gun. God forbid your optic goes down, I still want to be able to use my sights. Now as far as cons, I gotta say price is one of the cons. This thing is like more than twice the price of a standard P365, and while it's high quality and it's good, I think it'd be very tough for me to justify that price tag. It's very, very expensive considering they don't do anything at all to the lower part, the frame. It's tough for me to justify that price, but man, I am a cheap person, so I get it. Let's say this, overall, if you're looking to build a custom P365, if you want to Gucci out a P365, I would recommend you either get a standard P365 and slowly add the parts you want, kind of like what I did with this beast here, or just buy the fire control unit. Now you can buy just the fire control unit. If you don't know with these SIGs, the firearm inside lifts out and you can swap it into different frames and do different things. So this gun, for example, this fire control unit has been in a dozen different grips, different slides, different optics, different lights. It has a compensator on it now. This gun has become absolutely ridiculous, but I love it, and it's my carry gun, and the modularity of the SIG is great. So if you love Zev and you want this gun, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a very, very good gun. They do great work at Zev. I just think for the price, me personally, I would rather buy just the fire control unit and build a gun out custom, or buy a standard P365 and slowly add the parts that I want. But it's a free country. You do whatever makes you happy. Let me quickly thank my man Johnny again. What a good dude for loaning me all of these guns to review. Just his support and everyone else's support is amazing, so I always like to thank him. These are the companies who support me with affiliate links. Again, all good companies. I'm going to call out Ocean State Armory because they're a newer channel sponsor. Laser engraving, cerakoting, custom firearms, stuff like that. The link and or the discount code to all of these companies are down in the video description. My Patreon supporters are great. Again, I shoot way more ammo than I probably should for a channel my size, but I appreciate that because they supply a lot of the ammo to this channel. What else? I started a second YouTube channel dedicated to YouTube shorts, short 15 to 60 second videos. God forbid YouTube kills my main channel. I just wanted to have a backup. Again, the link is down in the video description. We have some Tiberious swag. Check this out. You want to look goofy in a t-shirt or a hoodie? The link is down below, and I would appreciate the support if you want to look goofy. If not, I can't say I blame you. As far as social media now, I'm really only on Instagram and Facebook. But if you want to know what reviews I'm working on right now in real time before they come out on YouTube, the links to those two social media platforms are down below. More important than any of my silliness and shilling here, I want to thank you guys for watching. It is truly, truly appreciated. Every time you guys like a video, comment, subscribe, enable the bell notifications, anytime you guys do any of that stuff, I truly, truly appreciate it, and it definitely helps me out. I will see you guys next time. Peace.